The village that laughed at a poor boy's dream.
Look,
In a small
everyone,
village
look
surrounded
at
by
Kofi.
dusty roads and whispering
What are you
trees,
doing, boy?
there lived a boy everyone
at him.
laughed at.
He
They laughed at his torn clothes. They laughed at his empty stomach.
Go home,
But
little
most
boy.
of all, they laughed at his dream. The boy's name was Kofi.
Come now,
Kofi
rest
lived
your
with his
head.
mother, Amma,
Your
in a
heart
small
is
mud
safe
hut
here.
at the edge of the village. Life was never easy for them. Some days they ate only once. Other days they slept with empty stomachs. Amma worked tirelessly, carrying heavy bundles of firewood to market just to earn a few coins. Yet, despite their hardship, Amma always spoke gently to her son. Kofi, she would say, we may be poor, but never let your heart become poor. Kofi would nod, but deep inside him burned something powerful, a dream. Every evening, after the day's struggles, Kofi would climb a small hill outside the village. From there, he could see everything. The dry farms, the cracked earth, and the long line of women walking miles under the hot sun just to fetch water. One day, as he stood on that hill, a thought came into his heart. What if I could bring water closer to the village? He imagined a place where no one had to walk for hours just to drink, where children would not cry from thirst, where life would be easier for everyone. He didn't know how it would happen, but he believed it could. One afternoon, filled with courage, Kofi shared his dream with the villagers. I want to build something that will bring water to our village, he said. For a moment, there was silence. Then laughter broke out. Loud, harsh, endless laughter. You, one man shouted. You can't even buy sandals. Another added, go and fetch water first before you talk about bringing it. Even the children joined in. Dreamer, poor dreamer. Kofi stood there, his heart heavy, his eyes filled with tears, but he refused to cry. Instead, he whispered quietly, one day you will see. From that day on, Kofi changed. He began to learn. He listened to travelers who passed through the village. He asked questions. He observed everything. At night, while others slept, he sat by a small fire, drawing shapes in the sand, lines, circles, ideas he didn't fully understand yet. People called him strange. Some called him foolish. Even the elders warned Amma. Your son is wasting his life chasing dreams that will never come true. Amma only smiled. My son is not chasing shadows, she said. He is chasing light. Years passed. Kofi grew stronger, but life did not become easier. Hunger still followed him. Failure visited him many times. There were days he doubted himself, days he felt like giving up, but he remembered his mother's words. One dry season, the village suffered more than ever before. The river dried up completely. The well cracked. Children cried from thirst, and the elders sat in silence, unsure of what to do. Amma became very weak. One night, she held Kofi's hand. My son, she said softly, promise me something. Yes, Mama. Never stop believing, even if the whole world laughs at you. Tears rolled down Kofi's face. I promise. That night, Amma passed away. Kofi was left alone. The hut felt empty. The world felt heavier. For the first time, his dream felt far away. But slowly, something inside him rose again. If not for himself, then for his mother. Kofi made a decision. He would leave the village. At sunrise, carrying only a small bag and a big dream, he began his journey. The road was long and difficult. He worked wherever he could, carrying loads, cleaning, helping builders. He learned from anyone willing to teach him. He saved every coin. He watched closely. He asked questions. Years passed. Kofi was no longer the poor boy the village once knew. He had gained knowledge. He had gained skill. And most importantly, he had not lost his dream. One day, he stood at the edge of his village once again. He had returned. The villagers looked at him with confusion. Is that Kofi? They whispered. The boy we laughed at? But this time, no one laughed. Kofi stood calmly and said, I have come back to finish what I started. With determination, he began his work. He dug into the earth. He set up pipes. He built with careful hands and a focused mind. Day after day, he worked while the villagers watched in silence. Days turned into weeks, weeks into months. Then one morning, something happened. Water began to flow, clear, strong, endless, right into the village. The same people who once laughed stood in shock. Women dropped their pots. Children ran with joy. The elders stared in disbelief. The village had changed. An old man stepped forward slowly. "We laughed at you," he said. Kofi smiled gently. "I know. And yet you came back to help us?" Kofi looked around at the people, at the land, at the place he once called home. "My dream was never just for me," he said. "It was for all of us." That evening, Kofi walked back to the hill where everything began. He looked down at the village, now full of life, laughter, and flowing water. Tears filled his eyes as he whispered, "Mama, we did it." A gentle breeze passed through the air, as if carrying a voice back to him. "I always knew you would." And so, the boy they once mocked became the man who saved them. Because dreams do not need permission. They only need belief. No matter how small you start, no matter who laughs at you, if you hold on to your dream and refuse to give up, one day, the same people who doubted you will stand in awe of what you have become. And that is the power of a dream.